For this fifth part of how to get good, I've decided to do a character that isn't from Garden Warfare 2, rather than Pornhub material factory known as Overwatch. The character we'll be covering today isn't such. Let's get started. Welcome to a video on how to get good at Reinhardt, perhaps the Bastion's best friend. Players who are able to master this dude with walking stick will be deleting everyone if he gets played well. Reinhardt is a tank hero that has 500 health consisting of 300 health and 200 armor. The said armor will reduce 5 hit points from each hit, making characters with armor resistant to shots that need multiple pellets to deal the damage, mostly being shotguns and rapid fire weapons, especially Bastion. Now for the abilities. Reinhardt has a passive ability known as Steadfast, reducing any knockback by 30%. This can be especially good as there is habit in community to delete tank heroes instantly by knocking them to their death using environment, such as pushing them off cliff. Reinhardt's primary fire is a big hammer that deals 85 damage in a range of 5 meters. Initial starting shot takes 0.432 seconds to fire, then each shot after takes only 0.96 seconds. Capital A. Really helpful tip is that Reinhardt's weapon does not have anything that can stop it, except Genji's deflect, so don't be afraid to use it even if the enemy stands behind a barrier or has abilities like Defense Matrix or Kinetic Grasp activated. The next ability is perhaps the most tankiest shit in universe, which being his barrier field. This shit has 1600 hit points and regenerates 200 health per second after 2 seconds of being inactive. Notice however that Reinhardt moves 30% slowly while having this up. The barrier has also 5-second cooldown if destroyed. A tip that you can put to use sometimes is that while holding primary fire button with barrier up, you can look freely around without Reinhardt actually moving himself. Be careful that this thing can stay up forever or die instantly. Also a character that we all know is able to shred through this in no time. We know him as Bastion. So keep your teammates beside you to kill him or you've just wasted a barrier. Reinhardt's next ability is Charge. This is the most damaging ability of them all. It can lead to death, especially if charging to enemies like I do. Pressing the ability button will make Reinhardt take a 0.6 second wind up and then charge forward with plus 200% move speed boost. For the next 3 seconds, Reinhardt will fly through 49.5 meters in total and pin anyone in his path. Pinning enemies and then smashing them to a wall will make them suffer 300 fucking damage, so it is especially powerful to deal with almost any damage hero. If bumping to enemies with already a pinned target, or from side so they don't get pinned, they'll suffer 50 damage and some serious knockback. After the ability is used, the enemy will get 0.65 stun if they survive, and the ability will enter 10-second cooldown. Notice that this ability doesn't have a fall off, so you can activate this at the closest wall in existence and still deal 300 damage. Charging into a turret or Orisa with Fortify ability activated will count as hitting wall, so keep that in mind. The next ability is probably the most used one, it being the Fire Strike. This flying shit deals 100 damage to anything it hits, and can even fly through enemies and barriers, making it especially good to take down Supercharger behind a shield. This thing has a casting time of 0.48 seconds and 0.64 second recovery, so it doesn't make you need disadvantages while using mid-fight. The projectile flies 25 meters per second, so you need to predict a little bit considering that IST not exactly the fastest mover speed of projectile. Also as a projectile, it can be deleted by Defense Matrix, so keep that in mind. The last ability is Reinhardt's ultimate ability, called Urchita. This ability costs 1540 points of damage to charge up, and after action deals 200 damage in 1.75 meters radius in front of you, and stuns enemies for 2.5 seconds in range of 20 meters in a cone shape. Casting this ability takes 0.45 seconds, and recovering only 0.6, so it can be used unpredictably and enemies may not be able to react and defend it in time. The ability also has a vertical range, it being 2 meters, which is approximately if enemy stands lowest platform of a payload. Note that this ability can be blocked with shields no matter what, so be really careful while playing around. The stun also does 50 damage. Also, one tip is that you can activate it in air, so you can jump, activate ability, and fall on ground, instantly stunning anyone you see. Now, in terms of strengths, Reinhardt excels at both sides of team, whether it's attack or defend using his barrier to push through objective or hold enemies away. Try using Fire Strike to hit and even kill enemies behind shields, and use Charge to quickly approach enemies, but only if you know you won't die in seconds. In terms of weaknesses, Reinhardt's main weakness can be if enemies manage to keep X distance with him at all times, he won't be able to reach them. Thanks to this aid, you'll be able to master the art of German hammering. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more stuff like this. Have fun.